We're going to the Dreaming Way Tarot here. We're going to this past life deck. Do we need any architects? No. Going into the shaman's dream for whatever reason. That's unusual, but that's where we're going. This can't be all the decks. I'm sure there's going to be more. Usually there's 4 or 5 decks coming up with these. We'll see where it goes. Wandering Spirits calling. Okay. Past life for Amber. What's going on? A lot going on in this past life. A lot of people. Hang on. We've got the husband and the broken heart, the material loss going on all together, all together. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. All right. This is a tricky one. This is about your husband in the past life. This feels like way back. This feels like maybe 1500s. It feels like there was thievery going on and it was exposed. There was a disloyalty and a judgment. It feels like your husband did time and left you in the lurch. Now this might not have been like the bad thing. I mean, the story of Jean Valjean, he steals a loaf of bread for good reason. But nevertheless, there was a theft, a stealing, and there was a sense of imprisonment going on. And it feels very literal. You've got the law and the jail going on. Something exposed. Something exposed. Yeah, this is like Sneaky Pete the thief, but he got caught. Now let's see what's going on with you. We've got the widow and the widower and the loss of status and reputation. This story almost tells itself here. My goodness. Your reputation was damaged because of your husband. I think he went to jail. I think he died in jail, left you in the lurch, left you on your own, left you to deal with shit. You became stronger and closer to the natural leaders, but it took you some time. You had to overcome his bad deeds. You got penalized for his choices. Even though his choices may have been right-hearted, they weren't rightly done. It's like you got stuck with his debt to some degree. What happened to you next? Really trippy. Yeah, the burden of the high priestess. Your inner knowing. You got stuck with somebody else's burden to carry, to carry, to carry. You're not meant to carry it forever. There is a victory over the heartache. I think if this guy died, did you get a second start in this life? It feels very much like you did. This feels like this is happening like maybe 17 to maybe age 25, 27. It was a short span of time where all of this happened, but it was big, dramatic, big trauma. Very difficult for you. Felt like it aged you and stole your youth. Victim, yeah. Victim, high Middle Ages, lesson of greed and death. Victim. It's getting injustice overturned. You had to pay it back. Oh my gosh. Unrequited love and true love comes in next. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah. This is a life where you had what feels like 2 husbands in the traditional sense. It feels like in this past life you were the woman. You didn't have the legal advantage you should have had. You married young and early. It could have been something that you were married and they wed you to get your dowry. It feels like that would have been totally on line with this. And this guy didn't really have what he should have. He was not as good of a deal. You were the better end of the bargain on that one. Because of this happening, your reputation suffered. You lost out. Yet you chose love again later. This very bizarro. The clarity on this one is really pretty interesting. It's like almost like film playing out. Okay. The dream thief and the refusal of the call. This is something that had to be there, had to be there, had to be there, had to be there. This is like he stole part of your youth, your childhood, and the refusal to give you what you really, truly wanted, because external forces arranged this to be. It wasn't you refusing the call to somebody or the call to love. You did your duty. You served your time, so to speak. You served time by dealing with this relationship and giving so much into it. Transpersonal watchers. This is like the ancestors see how difficult this is for you, but it's tricky. And then the wailing tree. This is where you go. This is a geographic space. It's not the blasted beach. It really is a wailing tree. It's like you would go into the woods and cry your eyes out, you poor little thing. This is reconciliations with the universe. It's not reconciliations with this one. It's you crying like, what did I do to deserve this? Really nothing. It just feels like the lesson that was there, that needed to be there, and you were ready to help serve this person for their growth, for their lesson, for their learning. But meanwhile, you're learning impatiently and feeling punished. It's going to take patience to get through this, to walk through this. I think the watchers know that angels, ancestors, and other guardians know that on the other side of this, there is love of a deeper nature. The lesson you learn is somewhat in discernment and somewhat of what you definitely don't want. Now what happens next? Because the unrequited love comes after you've been the victim in this way. What happens? This is why we didn't have more. It's because this is doubling. Scooching this out of the way, scooching this out of the way, scooching this out of the way, scooching this up, scooching this up, scooching this up. This is all right here. The preparedness and the readiness, this is where you're starting to ride for yourself. This is where, even though you've got some age on you, in that period of time, you would have been considered past your prime by 29. Really crazy, but that's the time that you were living in. You had still the inheritance, still the legacy, and it had been burdened. You had stood strong. It had been diminished, but you still held your own pretty good. You got your reputation back. I think you were one that was grounded and served your fellow man quite well. This is the service. This is the card of the mercenary, going where there's value and doing what needs done, doing at the behest of others sometimes. I think there was a drop in station, so to speak. So if you were from the aristocracy or from a noble class, you would have dropped in station because of this person's choices. Nevertheless, you still were thought to be of good character overall. You proved it out. You proved your worth, which is unfortunate that you had to prove versus somebody else's dumb choices, but that's how it went. Yeah, the reward was there. There was cooperative spirit eventually. Now, this is a card of knowledge and also a card of nursing. This is like, I'm getting a card of nursing, nursemaid, not wet nurse, and not, this feels like ladies' maid, nursing and service. For somebody that had almost aristocratic nobility, to have to go into service or to be a lady's maid is dropping down a notch, but that's what it feels like happened. For a period of time, that's what happened. That's how you recovered. You stayed with your name, but the reward needed to be a little bit different. You were stuck for a period of time. True love came eventually. You had to change your perspective completely. Completely. This willing sacrifice, the willingness to marry the first, or the willingness to do what the family needed done, had you stuck, had you held, and now the perspective shifts. Now the change on that shifts. You feel like, okay, you served your time. Your service was really when you had the aristocratic name, the noble name. You served your time. You were a little bit mistreated by family on this as well, because they were totally okay with this match. They should have known better and looking out for you a little bit better than what they did. They didn't. It landed on you to figure it out. Now what's going on here? The King of Wands. This is something that I think your father thought was a good idea because it served him. It served what he thought was good, and it was costly to you. Again, Ten of Wands is coming, more of this burden energy coming forward again. Page of Cups, this creative offering. You just really got strapped to a bad deal. And will you show this card? You had to juggle, and you get like two in your hands. This is the universe rebalancing, recalibrating in the future. Two in the hands, two opportunities, two significant relationships, two significant husbands. One so very different from the other. Easy to tell the difference, easy to differentiate. Tricky in the juggling of. What else do we got going on? I want to know about this unrequited love that comes later. What is that about? Did you even know of this person? No, you did not. It's more star-crossed than unrequited. Somebody comes forward, the Knight of Cups with the Ace of Swords. This is the true Romeo coming forward, the true romance. This is a dreamer, but he also has the sword in his hand. He doesn't just have the cup. Usually this is a Romeo card that just has the cup, talks a good game, dreamer. Very dreamer, but well-armed. To the teeth, has the sword in the hand. This is the second husband, very romantic, very stubborn, headstrong, truthful, straightforward. Probably says the quiet part out loud and probably makes a few people uncomfortable in the aristocracy, in the household where you serve, but also to your face, he would tell you a truth and be like, you know this is beneath your station, whether that's snobby or not. You know this is beneath your station. You don't have to be here, stuck here forever. He would bring the truth to your face like this, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see that. I recognize that. It's freeing. It cuts you free, cuts you down from this hangman position. It creates the tower for those around you that have built this paper tower that serves them. Ace of Wands comes through with big swing. Three of Swords. You're going your own way. It causes heartache. The world in your hand versus the world beyond. It's a little bittersweet for you. You go with this person. This is where love enters in. Three of Wands. It's what you wanted all along. You ordered from the universe. It's like you've had to pass these certain spaces and places, ticking the boxes, being strategic in how you had your role in life, because it wasn't a powerful place to be a woman. It wasn't a powerful time in history to be a woman. Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, and the King. Of course, of course. There is happiness for the family. That's the extended family. There's happy for the family going forward. This is when you start creating family with this person. This other, it's not like you even had time to create family. It's not like there were any children here. Here there's children coming in late. A little bit of a wonky, wandering time. Keep calm, carry on. Do you have children going forward with this one? I think you do. What do you need to know about this going forward? Good Lord. Such happiness, joy, and lightheartedness. You have 4 children, but you have this happy, playful energy. There's 6 in the household. Always playful, always playful. The dude that came through the next time around really suited you. Met your ingeniousness with his. You were ingenious to go into servitude, into a house that was all so noble. You were humble enough to do it, but you were ingenious because you still had connections and cross paths and networking that would happen. And this one entered in and it just fell into place so well. There was magic created. There was a really divine timing on this. 4 kids, happy, happy. Garden walls, happy, happy times. Leaving the pain in the past. Not all, everything is sweet, sweet, sweet. Sometimes you look back and you go, yeah, I feel like I'm really, really trapped. And you feel, is there life out there again? It's because of the motherhood burden. That's a heavy one of its own. And in those times, extremely so. There's a huge amount of strength coming through on you. Yeah, you know your mind really well. You know what's supposed to unfold. And now the scroll is different. And now the servitude is different. Now you are more grounded, more somber, and you know what you know. No longer the lessons of servitude are here. The lesson is in your hand. People will come to the wisdom from you. Your station is restored by virtue of being a mom in this realm. That was so woo-woo goo. Now, society has come a long way and shifted, but we're looking in the past life. The fact that you were able to do this so well was really something that people prized and added to your stature. The way you conducted yourself, it's like, wow, she's got it figured out. And you really did have it figured out. You had this hard period of time for a while. You broke free of this and you found your own way, found your own formula. You balanced things out. I don't think that you were living something that was highly unusual or highly extraordinary, but these were the changes and the cycles that happened. This feels 1500s. That's what it feels like. Anything else? The magic that was created with this Six of Cup moment. I want to know about that. We're back to here. Okay. The heartbreak. The clash. The battle that couldn't be undone. And then the Three of Wands on the horizon. This is just repeating what we had before. The Three of Wands was here. You called it forward. You put your eyes forward. You cast your own vision. You have this ability to manifest as above, so below. When you cast your vision forward, you're able to manifest still in a very proactive way when you focus. You don't know how powerful that is, but it's really your focus, your intention on that helped draw things towards you in a way that was fast. It facilitated change where you left the rough waters were smooth behind and the Knight of Cups came in. You rode the horse for yourself by focusing on the good, focusing on the positive, and not being bogged down by this other person's nonsense. You still have this ability. Don't lose that sense of ability now. Hold to that. The sun is here. This is huge. This is big illumination. This is how you do it. You focus your intent. You be it in what feels like the future positive moment. You be that in the now. That's what brings the illumination forward. That's complete. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. You were very forward thinking. It served you really, really well. Yeah. Yeah. This was really potent lessons on both sides with this. Huge. Huge. You knew how to ride the white horse for yourself, and you still do. Don't forget that. That's the big remember. Remember, remember. Keep your eye on the horizon. Let the universe know that you're conspiring with it. Have the sun card with it. Ride the white horse for yourself. You've got this. You know how to do this. Continue to do this. Set this example for others. It's important. Lead with positivity because you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, and other people need to know that they can do this too. Complete. Wow.
Woo!
Yeah. What a trip. I never know what the cards are going to give me. And this one, I'm like, why am I so drawn to this? And why am I not pulling other decks? It's because it needed almost a duplicate of there to bring the lesson through a little bit more strongly for you. That's what I got.
Okay, Angie, wow.
Yeah, gorgeous. Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. And were you being punished for doing anything wrong? No, not at all. It was just the circumstance. It was just the way it played. And it's just, this is what you signed on for during that period of time. So, yeah.